Hey everyone, Soars here. We are back with a video. First video in about a year. Um, Today though, I'm doing something different on the channel. My channel is probably going to be shifting into like a Walking Dead channel just because that's primarily what I do. Um, Big reason why I'm coming back to YouTube is because I've actually built up a very large audience on TikTok, and some people have suggested that I start doing Walking Dead videos on YouTube. And so I didn't really know what to do. Like, I'm going to be doing shorts of YouTube reels and whatnot of just like clips from The Walking Dead. But since so many people have requested that I do actual in-depth videos, I think that was a really cool idea. So yeah, our first video is going to be re-ranking The Walking Dead. I shouldn't say ranking. It's going to be more like rewriting deaths in the show. And for the most part, a lot of these characters that I put on here are going to get the same fate, the same death that they got in the show. But there's going to be some that are different. And then obviously, I'm like a super fan of season 1 through 5. So anything after that, like I'm on season 6 right now. But there's a lot of these characters that I don't really know, like past season 5. I mean, I know the big names and whatnot, but there's a lot of names on here that I recognize, but I don't really remember their names. And I might still rank them even if I don't know their names based off of their profile. But in general, if I don't know a character's name, I don't remember anything about them, I'm just gonna leave them on this part right here. That way I'm not really like, hey, I'm just going to rank this random old lady right here. Or put her on the tier list and I have no idea. Like, I could be like, oh, this lady dies in season 5. She wasn't introduced till season 8, so how's that possible? So anyway, let's get right into it. I'm not going to be going in particular order. I'm just going to be grabbing random people and just kind of putting them on the tier list. So the first one we'll start off with is, let's just go with Morgan. He's going to be a character that I have surviving the whole show. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory from my standpoint, at least. I don't really see him being killed off in the show. Especially, he's one of those characters basically lost everything, has nothing to lose. He's like one of the main reasons why the Fear the Walking Dead show did not fall off to begin with, was just because Morgan is Morgan. He's like top 3 favorite characters of mine. So maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but I have him surviving, so that's my first character I'm doing. I have him surviving. He's just easily one of the best developed characters in the show, and honestly, I feel like he should have got a little bit more screen time in certain seasons. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rank him there, just surviving. Next character we'll do is Milton, and like I said, I'm kind of just doing it random from who I want to rank or whatever. We're gonna leave him in season 3. He was basically the science of Woodbury, kind of like the governor's partner. He was like a self-taught scientist that knew nothing about the infection, and he was just kind of experimenting. He died because, he helped Andrea get back to the prison, and he saw the governor was not the person who he claimed to be. So he was kind of clutch in season 3. I mean, he didn't really do anything like that got the governor killed or anything. He kind of just helped, I guess. I mean, he's not like a super big character, but we're just going to leave him in season 3. Same fate, same death. Not going to change anything about that. Like I said, there's no point in keeping him past where he was killed off, so we'll leave him there. Next one we'll do is Otis. We're going to leave him in season 2 as well. Obviously, his death was very impactful. If he wouldn't have died, Shane probably would have died, or they both would have died, and Carl would have died because he wouldn't have been able to get the medication and stuff that Herschel would need to basically keep him alive. So we're just going to keep him same fate as well. Alright, another character. Let's do Tyrese. Okay, this is going to be very shocking to people, but I'm going to have him surviving. He's going to be one of the other characters that survives. The reason why I say this is because I just think his death. First off, his death was really dumb. It was probably one of the stupidest AMC deaths that I've ever seen in this show. Didn't really make a lot of sense, especially just to kill Sasha off 2 seasons later, and Bob Stuckey was already dead. It's basically like killing all of their characters, their group, and just him saving Judith. I would have really liked to see Judith, grow up and take care of him more, or have Tyrese take care of Judith more while Rick's gone. And I really think Tyrese could have been, he was a huge character in season 4, but having him be a major character throughout season, 9, 10, and 11 while Rick's gone, could make him one of the best characters in the show. So me personally, like I said, this tier list that I'm doing right now is based off of just pure opinions of my own. Obviously, the show's already concluded. All of the things have already happened. You can't change it. So, like I said, all these rankings that I do are my opinion. And I'll try to explain them best as I can if I'm changing their fate or whatever. But I have Tyrese surviving, especially what him and Carol went through with the whole Lizzie and situation and Terminus. He had so much development just to be killed off. Basically, it was like a shock factor kill. So I have him surviving. Next character is Jim. Jim is just like one of those civilians that somehow survived into the early apocalypse. I mean, he wouldn't have lived past any of the other seasons, in my opinion. His death was perfectly fine how it was in season 1. I mean, he literally watched his family get ripped to shreds by walkers. I mean, basically, he wasn't really living for anything past that. So I'm not going to keep him around. I don't really think he would contribute much to the story, really. I mean, he had the vision of the camp being attacked, but that was about it. Another death. Okay, this one's going to shock some people, but it's Axel. I just saw him. He's right here. So, Axel was part of the prison arc in season 3 and 4. He was killed, I think, in season 3 to like a headshot, like when the governor and his group was attacking the prison. He got killed here in season 3, but in my opinion, this is another thing where a whole group just got wiped out in one season, essentially. I think Oscar might have died in season 4. It might have been Oscar in season 3 and Axel in season 4, but I'm going to have Axel dying at Terminus. The reason I say this is to give the prisoners a little bit more of the outside world. All the prisoners that they met at the prison basically died at the prison. Oscar died at Woodbury, but I don't really think he saw too much far out there. And so having Axel be like, when they're like lined up essentially in that little warehouse at Terminus where the cannibals start killing them over the tub, or that long whatever it is, like just basically whatever, I would have him die there to give him more development, but also give like a perspective. Like this would be like the prisoner's first time seeing the world truly past the prison for the first time, seeing all the world just basically gone. Like I think it would have been cool. Maybe even season 6, maybe he survives Terminus and is like an early season 6 death past like the hospital thing. Maybe he dies at the hospital, like from one of the police. But realistically, I'm gonna have him die at Terminus. That's just my opinion. You could do the same thing with Oscar, but Axel's death was kind of dumb as well. Just having one of the prisoners see the apocalypse past the prison would have been really cool to see. The rest of the prisoners, I'm gonna have them die the same one, same fate. So let me go ahead and grab all the prisoners right now. Just kind of put them in the same one. Because if you think about it, Oscar and Axel they were probably in there because they made poor decisions, right? They probably shouldn't have done things. They did things they probably shouldn't have. But they still have their humanity. These two, on the other hand, I don't remember his name. I don't remember either one. I think this guy might have been Andrew, but I don't remember their names. These two were in there probably for much more serious things. As you see, they both try to kill Rick at some point in the group and take over the prison. These two, they like I said before the apocalypse, they did something they probably shouldn't have, and they were still good people. These two, nah, they're not good people. They're horrible. They're terrible people. Herschel, great character, one of my favorite characters in the show. Rest in peace, Scott Wilson. We're gonna put him at season 4. Wouldn't change anything about that. Huge for the characters. That's basically what really pushes Rick past like the breaking point, and that's when we see like the murder jacket Rick Grimes in season 5, where he just goes off and basically kills everyone in his path. He even starts it right after Herschel dies. So, speaking of which, we're going to have Rick Grimes die in Season 6. No, I'm just kidding. Don't click off the video. He dies, and we're not going to have Rick die at all. One row I forgot to do was a spinoff, so let me go ahead and do that really quick. We'll put this Season 11. No, that did not do anything. Hold on. So, we're going to do this, add a row below, clear that, and spinoffs just because we need a few. Spin-off deaths that I'm going to put on here. But yeah, Rick Grimes survives. That's our third person to the survive column. But yeah, Herschel, same death, same everything there. Next character we'll move on to is the governor's girlfriend. He basically finished off. The governor was introduced. Her daughter got bit by the walker right before the group raided the prison. She ends up finishing off the governor. Like I said, her daughter died. She killed the governor. Her story was basically over afterwards. They never fully confirmed that she died, but it was supposedly revealed in the show that Tara said that she was surrounded by walkers, basically let them, kill her because she basically had no reason. I think that's probably what did happen, but there is a possibility she still is alive. There was a ton of people at the prison. It could have been someone else. It probably was her. We'll just leave her there. Like, other than the whole governor thing, she was really not a character that needed any further seasons, in my opinion. Carl, all I can say is AMC should have paid you. They should have. They should have never killed you off. I'm putting you in survive. Should be an easy decision there. Would not change that one bit. Same with Michonne. We'll put Michonne in survives. Again, another character that went through a lot and had a good development in the seasons that Rick was gone. And, well, actually, she wasn't around very much longer. She went looking for him. But, like, season 6, 7, 8, that was huge character development for Michonne and her story. I have her surviving. Morales. Okay, this is a fun one. Or a fun character. Not a fun character. Like a idea. I'm going to put him in season 8. Around the same time he did die. However, I felt like his death was very rushed. It was basically AMC saying, hey, he's gone now. Because for a long time, because he left in season 1 with his family, and they were going to go to Birmingham or something. Well, obviously that didn't work because the family died. But, and like season 7 or 8, he's with the Saviors, and he's basically insane at this point. He's telling Rick that he's not the good guy anymore. He said Officer Friendly died along the way. Daryl ends up shooting him. He's like on the screen for like 2 to 3 minutes. Then he's dead. In my opinion, not every character needs a story, but like to give the fans just a little bit more of what they deserve. It would have been cool to see him at the lineup. Like he runs into the group before the lineup. Or a few of them. And then he, does the same thing where he's aiming the gun at Rick but can't kill him. He leaves, goes away, goes back to the Saviors. This is before the Saviors, take the group. Then at the lineup, he's there and he sees how bad of a person Negan is. So he tries to kill Negan and basically dies in a fight with Negan, giving him a little bit of like more of like he's redeeming himself, like he's not too far gone. He has an opportunity to prove himself again. And so, like, just give him a little bit more than what he was shown in his return. So that's what I would do. Let's talk about like the lineup deaths now. Glenn, one of my favorite characters, but I would not change the lineup. Same with Abraham. Let me find Abraham. Where is Abraham? Can't find Abraham. Oh, he's right there. Abraham is another lineup death. And then, okay, this is going to surprise a lot of people. But let's talk about Andrea for a minute. Let's talk about Andrea. So Andrea dies in season 3 to the governor. And basically, Andrea dies because she doesn't make good decisions. She's kind of annoying. All these other scenarios. But she signed a 10-year contract, so she was supposed to be on the show. Basically, it would have ended probably in like season 9 or 10. I would not write her off in season 3 because that was really dumb. It didn't really make a lot of sense. I would have her a third and final lineup victim. So it'd be these 3. And throughout the seasons, maybe Andrea goes away for a while, comes back, and like, the end of Terminus like Carol does, or maybe the hospital thing. Maybe she's one of the people at the hospital. But I would have her one of the lineup victims. Maybe she reunites with them at the Commonwealth. Or not the Commonwealth, sorry. Alexandria. And she just becomes a third lineup victim. That would be a much more sad death, because then for, season 5 and 6, she could be more developing and become like the character she was in the comics, and then die, unexpectedly as a third lineup victim. That would be a lot better, in my opinion. Alright, let's do another character. Amy, another side character that really, I'm not going to change much what happened. She gets bit on like her birthday, on the arm, starts the whole freak out on the camp. Everyone starts freaking out. People, that's where when Jim gets bit, it's when like Ed dies. Which, speaking of Ed, a loser, by the way, we're going to put him season 1 too. I'm so glad that he's gone. He was terrible. Terrible person, terrible character. I'm sure the actor's like a nice guy in real life, but his character was absolutely trash. Season 1, we won't change that. Same thing with her as well. Can't remember her name. I think it starts with a J, but I can't remember. Season 1. And then same with Dr. Jenner. Basically just getting these season 1 background / side characters out of the way now, so we don't have to do that later. Basically season 1, we're keeping it the same, would not change. Dale's another one. If Frank Darabont did not get fired, he probably would have died in like season 4 or 5, maybe even season 7 or 8. Maybe he won't even die, because him and Frank Darabont were like really good friends. That's why I think if Frank Darabont was still doing the show, I think characters like Andrea, Dale, Carol, and Merle would all be characters that would not be killed off when they did. I mean, maybe Merle still, but those 3 that I named probably would have stayed around longer. But yeah, let's go ahead and find Dale. And I think Dale's death is fine. Kind of is like one of the first, next to Sophia. Like, that's when the group starts realizing, like, hey, the group, like, we need to, find somewhere else to save, because we're starting to die and our group is falling. That's like when Rick has to start making like a lot of tough decisions. And even the whole group too. Glenn, Maggie, Daryl, Carol. That's when they all have to start making really tough decisions. So I would keep Dale in season 2, but for some reason I can't find his character. I don't know if I put him up there already. Like, there's so many images right here that it's like I'm just skipping over. He's right there with his bucket hat. I know what kind of man you are, says Dale. But yeah, I would keep him in season 2 just because I feel like that it fits. It's fine. I think that just makes the most sense in my opinion. let's see here. Jadis, she appears in the Ones Who Live. I have her still dying in the spinoffs. I feel like that was a good end to her character. Same with Heath. I know a lot of people are speculating what happened to him because he just left the show and basically never came back. He didn't get killed off, didn't, whatever. He just exited the show. I believe Dwayne dies early on, but I think it's technically considered a spinoff, so we'll put him there in the spinoff. I just saw Heath. Where is he? When we get back to Heath, or when I find Heath, I'll put him on a spinoff. We could, I think it would be cool if he did show up in the spinoff, The Ones Who Live. Maybe he teamed up with Jadis or whatever. They became, kind of like a duo, and then he dies in the spinoff. I think that would be, a good conclusion to his character. Speaking of which, I just found it. Put him in the spinoff. Daryl, I have living. Easy explanation. I'm not going to explain. I really like his spinoff show right now. Same with Carol. I wouldn't really change that. They've been through the most together, I feel like. As a team, they lost basically everyone. And I think those two are both automatic survives. Let's see here. These two were part of the farm, season 2. I think she was Otis's wife or something. And then Jimmy was I think he was dating Beth, which I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure they were hugging and very sad when they found Sophia. But then when he died, it's no one ever mentioned his name again. So I thought that was kind of weird. It's kind of funny at the same time. Just about that character that was whatever. These two characters were dating, and then he got bit by a zombie and never heard from again. So both in season 2. Like I said, they're just side characters to other characters' stories. Really had no... I'm pretty sure, he got bit, and then Rick is just okay, gotta save Carl. Who cares? This is the doctor. I don't think he dies in the show, so I'm not really sure why he's on this list. I'm just gonna put him in Survive. I don't think he dies. I could be wrong. Maybe he is on this list because he does die. But I'm pretty sure he was still alive. So if he did die and I missed it, I just watched this and I swear I saw him survive. We'll just say season 5, if he did die. Let's see here. Governor. We'll do the governor. He's a character that I'm not changing the story at all. He was basically the most dangerous villain, and I think it was to a point to where it was he was a villain for 2 full seasons, or a season and a half, and it was to the point where if he had survived past that rush, he probably would have killed everyone because he was just unstable past that point. So I think his death in season 4 was perfect. I would not change that at all. Martinez, same thing. I'm pretty sure Governor killed him when he became a full psychopath. Season 4, we'll leave him there. T-Dog, sacrifice Carol. Good character, had a little bit of development in the beginning of season 3, then they killed him off an episode later. Again, typical AMC moment. But yeah, we'll leave him in season 3. He was it's kind of a background character. He was the reason Merle, got the robot arm or whatever. So we'll leave him there. Man, so many characters. Wow. There's still so many major characters on here that I could be explaining for 45 minutes. Oh man, let's see here. Where do we even start? We still got to do the Pike deaths in season 9. Wow. Negan, I just saw him. He's another character I'd have live, honestly. I just saw him. We'll put him on here when I find him. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take Mika and Lizzie. We'll put them in season 4. Would not change that. That was honestly one of the most depressing episodes. The Grove, which is season 4 episode. I don't know, like 15 or 14 or 16. It was one of those last season 4 episodes. It was like the most depressing thing ever. Basically, Lizzie thought that walkers were humans, and she killed her sister because she thought she would come back to basically, be nice and still have thoughts and emotions. And then it turned out, Lizzie she was kind of unstable. Fair enough. Like, probably her first, 2 years, or not first 2 years, but like the last 2 years, she literally was just in a pure apocalypse. So probably messed with like her mental state a little bit, or maybe I should say a lot. That's probably a big reason why she was the way she was, just because she grew up in an apocalypse. So yeah, we won't change those 2 deaths at all. Beth, this might get me a million dislikes, but I have her a Pike death because I'm going to give my quick little rant really quick about the Pike deaths. They were all side characters. They were all characters that were like, okay, meh, just meh. Like, when I saw the Pike deaths for the first time, I'm like, okay, I don't even know half these people that are on there. Like, Tara was the biggest one, and Tara's character was like very mixed feedback. A lot of fans say she's annoying. A lot of people said that she was there for so many seasons and still had like no redemption, no arc, no anything. She was just Tara. She was just there. Like, she was like, no, don't give up. Like, she tried to hold the group together, but yet they would still like fall apart. And so I think these 2 would be Pike deaths. Third one is Ezekiel. Just because I feel like past season 10 and 11, he's just not really there very much, and he's just, I don't know, he's just not like, he's a cool character, him and, his tiger and stuff, like, that I think gets eaten by walkers. Like, he's got a cool little storyline, but his death would be more impactful than half the other ones they put on there. Speaking of which, I believe this is Henry, which is like Carol's adopted son. I would also put him back on there. Wouldn't change that. This would be like the 4 major Pike deaths. Actually, no, I say 5, because I think Carl's girlfriend was on there too, which it would have been really sad if Carl lived past season 8 and saw that. That would give Carl like his own season 5 Rick kind of thing. So she's right here, I believe. We're going to put her on there as well. And it would basically be these 5 and then like the few random townspeople that they find there as well. And that's what I would put for that. Beth, just because I'm not a fan of the prison thing, I would still have Noah end up just basically saying, hey, I'll stay here at the hospital. And then, we'll just say he got bit by a walker there at the hospital. Just because, I don't know, I feel like that whole thing where Beth like stabs Dawn with the knife, or the scissors and then gets shot, like that was really dumb. Have her live to season 9, see like what happens at the lineup, and just give her more development too. So plus being like this would probably like shatter a lot of Walking Dead fans. Like, it would be like one of the most brutal things next to the lineup, like, and all that happening within the span of 2 seasons. Like, I feel like that would keep the show going a lot. Like, just so much is happening, because I feel like, okay, here's one thing, AMC got too happy killing, or not, I'm not gonna say happy, like they got too comfortable just killing every single side character off in the first 5 seasons, that by the time they got down to like season 7, 8, 9, there was either just a bunch of average side characters or not enough characters to do like major deaths anymore, and so they had to be really careful. So like past season 7, there wasn't really any main deaths until season 11. I was like Rosita, and that was basically it. Bob Stuckey, though, we're gonna go ahead and put season 5 at Terminus. I wish Terminus was a little bit longer. I feel like that was a really short arc. I feel like it was way too short. Speaking of which, this guy was another Terminus victim. Season 5 as well. Want to change that for him. Gareth, the cannibal leader of Terminus, we'll put him in season 5. Not much explanation for him. because everyone pretty much knows what happens to his character. Same thing with his friend that was part of Terminus, season 5 as well. Let's see here. Eugene is just like a chill character. He got thousands of saviors killed by basically tricking them. I'm having him survive. He's just one of those characters that I'll keep around. Her as well, forgot her name, but I would have her survive as well. This is Negan's girlfriend, I believe, in season 11, which is kind of crazy because the whole spin-off show is basically Negan leaving his girlfriend / wife behind at the Commonwealth to go look for a kid whose father is dead and happened to be killed by Negan. And which makes things even more interesting is that Negan is going with the wife of the person he killed. So I think maybe having her die in season 11, like with that whole Commonwealth war, would give Negan more of a reason, because he's basically got nothing to lose at that point. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense when you just have her, stay alive and Negan's like, bye, I'm leaving you for some random kid. I wouldn't say random, because he's definitely part of a big character, but you know what I mean. He's basically leaving his new family behind just to go save a kid or whatever. So that I would make it. I would have her die in season 11, give Negan more of a, reason to leave. Like, there's no reason to stay, so I might as well, help Maggie or whatever and whatnot. Noah will probably have him season 6. No one needs to die at that hospital arc. He can still die the same way he died in season 6, which was super sad. We'll have him be one of the major deaths of that season. Gargiulo died in season 3. Now he's just a random side character that worked for the governor at Woodbury, but his death was more impactful than people think, because when Tim Crowley, Gargiulo, and Merle were going to look for Michonne to kill her, the governor was already 50-50. Since they had captured Maggie and Glenn, the governor was not sure if Merle would turn on the governor, so he was being very 50-50 at this point. And in the show, Gargiulo was like, oh, we need to tell the governor that she got away. And that would basically, the governor would probably think that Merle let Michonne get away. And so Merle had to kill Gargiulo. That was actually a major death, because if Gargiulo didn't tell Merle that he was going to tell the governor, then he got back and told him, I think the governor probably would have killed Merle right then and there. So that's just my opinion. Now we've got, since we're doing a lot of the hospital arc as well, I'm going to do like all the police officers just, dying in their normal season, which is season 5. Season 5 had a lot of characters that died, which is crazy. Here's the other cop. I think, where did I put him? I just moved him. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, right here. By the way, there was multiple cops that died in season 5. I only see 2 on the tier list, so I'm not sure where the other ones went. Like I said though, there's probably not like every single character on here. Negan, finally found him. He survives. Here's another random side character, Shumpert. Really, he never said like one word. He's like one of those characters you see in like a TV show, like a sitcom, where he's just in the background. He he's just like a background character. He's just there. Like, he shows up a ton, but he never said a word. Like, I'm pretty sure Gargiulo had more lines than him, but Shumpert had way more screen time. I'm still going to leave him in season 4, because I think that's when he died. Next to Martinez. I think they died around the same time. So I'm just going to leave him there. He, fell into a pit, died by walkers. Magna survives, but I would give her more of a story. Her story's kind of bland. They just try to find random, characters to fill Rick's shoes. She was supposed to be that character, and she didn't really do it. And so I would give her more of a story to make her more unique. This girl, I'm pretty sure she's in the show too, till the end. She survives. I think this lady right here is a Pike death, so I'm going to put her back on there. That's like one of the random Pike deaths. random townsperson. I think that's basically it for 6 people. Pretty sure I was around the same in the show. This is Joe, I believe. He'll die, same thing. That was probably the most brutal death in the show. Next to Glenn and Abraham, he had probably the most brutal death in season 4. It was like the last episode of season 4, right when Rick started going crazy. I can't remember this guy's name. He survives as well, just another side character. Let's see here. Who else we got? Spencer. You got no guts. I believe he's the son of Monroe. She's part of the Commonwealth. I think she dies. She's introduced at the end of season 5 and then dies in season 5 or 6. We'll have her die in season 6. Then Spencer, I believe, dies in season 7. Just because he wanted to be the leader over Rick and whatnot. So all that. Mercer, we have survived. He played a big role of the Commonwealth. He helped the main group basically survive. Pamela is the leader of the Commonwealth. She survives as well. Aaron, part of the main group. We have him survive as well. Same with Judith. Sorry if I'm throwing all these names on here. A lot of these are just self-explanatory. Like, no reason to really explain some of them. Let's see here. Simon was, like, basically Negan's main like co-captain, I guess you could say, of the Saviors. Same fate in like season 8, where basically he tries to betray Negan. I think it was more of like a ego thing, like he wanted to take over for himself. Negan killed him though by basically strangling him. We won't change his fate. This guy right here, season 6 as well. I want to change anything about his character. Randall, season 2. Another thing, if he would have gotten away, he would have told his group. It's so funny because people still debate about this. They're like, nah, he wouldn't have said anything. He would have gotten away. He would have just, left him be. He already said he knew Maggie, and I feel like they pretty much tortured him a lot, so they would have let him get away. If his own group didn't kill him, like when he got back, I think he probably would have brought them to the farm. And honestly, the whole farm would have... basically, Shane would still be alive if Rick would have just killed Randall. I think Shane would have lived much further on. But unfortunately, Shane will still die in season 2. He's probably top 3 favorite characters next to the GOAT, Rick, and Daryl. I would have Shane die in season 2. You could basically do another morals thing where he basically, leaves. He leaves. Maybe we don't see him for a long time, and then he shows up as part of the Saviors. But then it doesn't really make Rick stronger. It doesn't really... The only way I could see, right, is when they're in that field and they're basically arguing. When Shane goes to shoot Rick, or no, because Rick stabs Shane when Shane is, putting his weapons away. Like, Shane is just ready to move past this. It was just the heat of the moment. Rick decides to kill Shane anyway, and so Shane shoots the shot still while getting stabbed. And then the herd starts coming over the hill, and basically Rick just leaves Shane thinking he's probably dead, or, hoping he didn't die, but he knows he's probably going to bleed out from, the getting stabbed. Rick leaves him there. He goes away on his own thing. Maybe we see him like in random episodes here and then, just seeing where he is. But maybe he could reappear. That's how I would introduce him. But he was like probably the biggest major death in the first 3 seasons. Herschel being the next one. I would still have him in the end of season 2. Unfortunately, like I said, you could do a season 7 thing, but I wouldn't really do it. Kind of would, I don't know, I feel like it would ruin a lot of aspects of the show if you keep him around. Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, there's, I don't know, that's probably the toughest one for me, is do we keep Shane around? Do we put him in season 7? We have a lot of explaining to do, and I don't think AMC would want to do that. I mean, they might, but it's just, it ruins a lot of Rick's development potentially. It ruins a lot of, it ruins, like, because Shane probably would have tried looking for Lori right away anyway, or he would have died to the herd, or even if he survived the herd, he probably would have died, like, because he would be all alone. So maybe he would join Negan. Negan realizes he's got, he's too mental at that point. He's too strong, so Negan kills him before the whole savior thing. Like, there's a lot that could go down. So we'll just leave him in season 2. Same with Sophia. Want to change that. That was like the first major death in the show. Like, that was one of the big major deaths of the show with Sophia. So we're not going to change that at all. It builds character development for the group, especially Carol and Daryl, I would say. Next character we'll do is Dwight. He survives season Fear the Walking Dead. He's one of the only characters as well that helps carry that show quite a bit. We have him surviving. Here's a random person that worked with Governor as well. Basically, all the Governor's men died in season 4. Very similar to one another, or they all died at around the same time. Another character we'll do now is Maggie. She survives. I've already kind of explained how she survives and whatnot, so she's another one that survives. Next one is the Whispers, which is they're the ones that do the Pike deaths. We'll all have their same deaths in season 10. I would not change their story at all, just because the whole Pike thing would be insane in season 9. Where is Alpha, though? I don't see Alpha, because I am pretty blind. She's gonna be bald. I can't see her. Oh, she's right here. She's right under Sasha. Sasha, I would have maybe her same death, and that's what would maybe push Tyrese, to make him more developed, give him more of an arc and whatnot. So I'd put him, or I would have I'd put her, Sasha, dying in season 7, same death. Where she basically kills herself to try to become a zombie and then eat Negan and stop him. Obviously doesn't work. This guy, another random side character, pretty sure, not him. This guy right here, pretty sure he dies in season 2. They did the exchange for Glenn, because he got kidnapped or whatever, and they wanted all the guns and stuff. Pretty sure it's explained that the governor, raids his camp and they all die. So same thing for that. Let's see here. Lori, same thing. Season 3, kind of, that's the beginning of the fall of Rick kind of just going insane. We'll put him in her in season 3, same death, same everything. Rosita, great character, was kind of just a random side character for a season. We'll have her season 11. Meant to put Alpha in season 10. Merle, season 3. Would have liked to see him around a little bit longer, surviving the prison, moving to Terminus, because that would have been insane seeing Merle. Merle would have killed everyone at Terminus the second he saw them. So seeing him around, he probably would have died to Negan in season 8, but then that's way too many characters in that season, in those few seasons. So I think having him die in season 4, giving him a few more episodes with Michonne and stuff, instead of half an episode, do a few episodes. Just give them a few more episodes together, where he's kind of just apologizing while him and Michonne are looking for supplies and stuff and whatnot, and just kind of giving him a full redemption thing before he dies. Let's see here. Sadiq was dumb because they killed off Carl to keep him around. Then it was another Beth and Noah thing where they just end up killing him off anyway. We'll just have him be a season 10 death. He dies saving Carl in season 10, but then we'll just say Alpha kills him or whatever, and that gives him at least more of a proper death, but also keeps Carl around and not just writes him off. This girl, I think she dies in season 7. I could be wrong, or season 8. We'll just put her there. Let's see. This guy is another. He died as part of Tyrese and Sasha's group. We'll put him in season 3, like his original death. Jerry survives. What can I say? His name's Jerry. He's a goat. Gabriel, I'd have him a season 11 death alongside Rosita. Just because I think finally him redeeming himself and just becoming a great character, and then saving the part of the group, that would be a great end for his character. And it would kind of give the show also a more sad ending. Jesus, we'll put him season 10 from the Whispers. Let's see here. Oh, her as well, forget her name. Survives. He dies in season 11, don't remember his name, but also will die in season 11. Yeah, season 11. He gets bit, like, at the Commonwealth, I want to believe. Let's see. I feel like I missed a few people on here. Let me see really quick. Well, I don't really... Oh, her as well. We'll put her in... I think she died in season 7 as well. Or season 8, I mean. Oh, Lance. That's basically the last character on here that I kind of recognize. I recognize some of them, but I don't exactly remember who they are. He dies in season 11 as well. That's basically it for the tier list. I know towards the end I kind of started getting more quiet and just throwing characters and random places. But this is my full tier list. If you guys would like me to do a re-rank of this with different scenarios and stuff, this is my general, tier list of when I'd put characters and who I'd have survive and who, I'd put in different spots. But this is my tier list. Just let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. I think I might do a ranking my favorite Walking Dead characters next. I think that might be the next one. But if you guys have any other ideas, let me know. This is, like I said, this is my first time ever doing a video like this, so apologize if I kind of just ramble on and not really sure how to commentate and whatnot, but hopefully the videos get better over time, and yeah, see you guys in the next one.